hello everyone. My name is Carlos Sanchez Rivero, and I'm the team leader of the finance team of Unit B2, energy efficiency in the energy, and I will try to give you a policy update on the field of energy efficiency financing. So I will start my presentation with the wide policy context, and this is the European Green Deal. You know, the European Green Deal is the top policy priority of the European Commission, and it's aiming to make Europe the first climate neutral continent by 2050. So the Green Deal is not only a vision, but it is the new European growth strategy, and therefore it contains a roadmap for making the EU's economy sustainable by turning climate and environmental challenges into opportunities across all policy areas, and making also the transition just and inclusive for all. In that picture, energy production and consumption represents 75% of the Union's greenhouse gas emissions, and therefore improving energy efficiency is key to achieving climate neutrality. This is why the Green Deal, the European Green Deal, includes a full range of initiatives addressing energy efficiency and building renovation. And this includes the Commission adopted its proposal for the European climate law that increased the ambition with a 2030 greenhouse gas emissions reduction target of at least 55%. The review of the Energy Efficiency Directive and also the Energy Performance of Building Directive planned for this year. In the case of the Energy Efficiency Directive, it is expected the Commission proposal to be adopted in July, while for the case of the Energy Performance of Building Directive, it is expected for late this year. Also, the energy efficiency first guidance, and to conclude as well, the renovation wave strategy communication that was adopted last year in October. So in order to achieve the objectives of the European Green Deal and to reflect on really the increased EU ambition, the next and the current multi-annual financial framework 21-27, together with the recovery package, are a unique opportunity to scale up investments in the field of energy efficiency and in the field of building renovation. So out of the total 1,800 billion euros that contains the package that was agreed by the EU leaders, 30% of these resources, that represents around 550 billion, have been earmarked for climate actions. So this means that the resources that are dedicated to these actions, to climate actions, have more than doubled compared with the period 14-20. And energy efficiency, as I said before, plays a central role in the green energy transition. So I think this is really good news in terms of energy efficiency financing. In this context, it is worth repeating the multiple benefits of energy efficiency and its huge potential in terms of local economic recovery and creation of local jobs. In fact, energy efficiency and building renovation are one of the most job-creating investment areas across the entire green energy transition. Let me highlight also other benefits in the field of industry, such as the increase on the productivity and the operational benefits that could be up to 2.5 times the value of the energy savings. So as you see, very substantial and very relevant as well. And let me now present with this slide a mapping on the comprehensive and reinforced EU budget support that it is available for energy efficiency and for building renovations. You see here 5 blocks. They are divided according to the operational goal: direct investments, leverage private investments, research and innovation, address market barriers, and finally technical assistance and advisory support. Concerning the recovery and resilience facility flexibility, cohesion funds, InvestEU, and technical assistance. I will talk about them a bit later in my presentation, but let me highlight that the Just Transition mechanism that aims to alleviate the social and economic cost of the transition to climate neutrality, focusing on the territories, industries, and workers who will face the biggest transition challenges. And of course, to the Life Clean Energy Transition Subprogram, that with a budget around 1 billion euros will be providing support to member states and to the regions and actors to address the specific market barriers to renovation identified in their territories. And let me focus now on the importance of the building sector for the climate transition. I think this is very well explained here with 5 figures. So first, the buildings are responsible for 40% of the total energy consumption. Second, at the same time, they also account for 36% of the carbon emissions. More than 85% of the building stock has been built before 2001, so it is relatively an older building stock. Between 85% and 95% of the buildings that exist today will be still standing by 2050. So therefore, the need to act on the existing building stock. And finally, very important, the annual investment need in order to achieve our 2030 climate and energy targets are estimated at around 275 billion euros. So because of that, the importance of buildings, the Commission adopted its Renovation Wave communication last year with very ambitious objectives. It contains a strategy to break down the main barriers to building renovation, but together with a detailed action plan to be implemented in the next months and years. The objective is at least to double the building renovation rates across Europe by 2030 and to foster deep energy renovations. That should result in 35 million building units renovated by 2030 and the appropriate reduction of emissions and final energy consumptions. This will also indicate before support a European recovery with economic growth and job creations. In order to achieve these objectives, the Commission identified 7 main areas of intervention, looking into the necessary legislative and regulatory framework, but also the very much needed financial stimulus. I will focus on the financing part with 3 main elements. First, measures related to EU public funding. Second, measures to leverage private investments. And third, measures concerning increasing capacity and technical assistance. So let's go to this first pillar, and because EU and public funding is needed to kick off a renovation wave and in making it more accessible and more targeted. The largest share of the funding resources will be made available through the Recovery and Resilience Facility, the InvestEU, and the cohesion funds. Let's start with the Recovery and Resilience Facility because the bulk of the resources from the recovery package will be made available to member states through the Recovery and Resilience Facility with a total of 672 billion euros. The measures, that includes investments and reforms, should address the challenges that are identified in the context of the European semester, strengthen the growth potential, job creation, and economic and social resilience of the member states. And very important for us and for energy efficiency, the plans need to facilitate the green and the digital transitions. And in order to achieve that, the plans need to be in line with the objectives set out in the national energy and climate plans, and also a minimum of 37% of the expenditure of the plans need to be dedicated to climate actions. So the process that started in last October, where member states were invited to submit their preliminary drafts of their recovery and resilience plans, is now very advanced. I think so far very good progress. The Commission has adopted already positive opinion on 13 member state plans. In support of the renovation wave, the building renovation is one of the 7 flagship recovery areas that are being identified by the Commission. And I have to say that having looked at the plans submitted, we are very happy to see this very positive impact of the renovation wave in the recovery and resilience plans, since the great majority of them are including important and dedicated components targeting energy efficiency and targeting building renovation, but also energy efficiency in other sectors such as industry, SMEs, agriculture, fisheries, etc., etc. It seems clear now that the Recovery and Resilience Facility will be the main source of EU and public funding for energy efficiency and building renovation in the next years. But we will also have the InvestEU that will remain the key EU instrument to crowd in private capital. It will provide a new guarantee of more than 26 billion euros for the development of targeted financial products, and also it will provide project development assistance for building renovation and energy efficiency through the ENER facility. With this budget guarantee, it is expected to mobilize up to 370 billion of additional investments across Europe. And finally, cohesion funds will remain a key program in support of direct investment for building renovation. The cohesion funds complements the temporary support from the Recovery and Resilience Facility and provides integrated support for tailor-made renovation programs at local and at regional level. On the next MFF, cohesion policy funds will be better targeted to deliver on energy savings in line with the national energy and climate plans and the long-term renovation strategies. Moreover, the Commission is working to facilitate blending solutions, and in cooperation with member states and market participants, the Commission will also facilitate the implementation of rules that allows for combining EU programs and instruments, national funds and private funds. I will enter now into the second pillar, and we are talking about measures that support the leverage of private investments and enable green loan financing. This is key because although we see that there will be a lot of public money in the next years for energy efficiency, for building renovation, more than ever before, but when we look at what are the investment needs, what it is the financing gap, if we want to achieve the energy efficiency 2030 target, more than 150 billion years, more than 150 billion per year need to be mobilized from the public and the private sector. And the public sector will cover only a part, but the bulk of this money need to come from private hands. And this is why we need to take advantage of the catalytic effect of public money to leverage the necessary private funding from financial institutions, citizens, and enterprises, because this leveraging of private financing is conditional to achieve our EU energy and climate targets. First, developing financial solutions with high potential to be scaled up and that are innovative, reinforcing the role of main aggregators, financial institutions, utilities, ESCOs, very important. And also the renovation wave is really an opportunity to stimulate the development of green loan and mortgage financing, and to make sure that energy efficiency lending products are offered more widely and more visible to consumers. In this context of the EU Renew Sustainable Finance Strategy, the Commission is looking into additional standards and labels for sustainable financial products such as green mortgages, green loans, and green bonds. Finally, continue supporting the risking of energy efficiency investments and considering the introduction of the deep renovation standard as part of the Energy Performance of Buildings Directive revision are other important elements of the strategy. So in this context, and let me come back now to how important is the intervention area attracting private finance for sustainable energy of the Life Clean Energy Transition call for 2021. This will consist on two topics: mainstreaming sustainable energy finance and integrating energy performance in EU sustainable finance criteria and standards. Second one, innovative financing schemes for sustainable energy investments. So innovative financing schemes adapted to sustainable energy and in particular energy efficiency need to be rolled out, which leverage private finance, also via blending, and are expandable and replicable at a scale. And these should contribute to the widespread implementation of the relevant EU sustainable finance policy and legislation. Particularly, I would like to mention here the EU taxonomy, as well as the achievement of the underlying objectives. And we will enter now into the last slide of the presentation, that it is about increasing capacity and technical assistance. The Renovation Wave communication recognizes the key role of technical assistance in scaling up investments. Therefore, it envisages measures to increase the capacity to prepare and implement projects and scale up this technical assistance. The Commission, together with the EIB and with the help of the member states, will design national or local programs that may replicate the ENER model, a model that has resulted very successful in leveraging and triggering investments. But also the Commission will support setting up standardized one-stop shops that can be deployed quickly at national, regional, and local level to accompany homeowners or SMEs through the preparation and implementation of the renovation projects. And here enters again the intervention area supporting the development of local and regional investment projects of the Life Clean Energy Transition Call 2021 that will offer important support for this pillar of the renovation wave, aiming to support the creation of local and regional integrated home renovation services, to build bridges between existing and emerging local regional initiatives, and to develop an EU community of skilled practitioners actively involved in the local regional implementation of these integrated home renovation services. And finally, very important as well, to provide project development assistance to develop innovative solutions that will mobilize this necessary private capital, blending public with private financing and setting up long-term and scalable financial instruments. This project development assistance will give public and private project promoters the opportunity to acquire technical, financial, and legal expertise. The projects are expected to demonstrate an organizational innovation or development of scalable financial schemes, innovative approaches in mobilizing investments. Let me refer, for instance, to on tax, on bill financing schemes, etc., etc. With that, I think I've come to the end of my presentation, and many thanks, and that's all from my side.